Well, good morning. Outdoor Artist here, and this morning I'm taking a break from the shed build, although in a way this is indirectly related to the shed build, because what I'm doing is de-thatching, aerating, fertilizing, and reseeding this lawn. This is the front lawn of our house, and you can see it's got these brownish areas here, and there's a lot of dead grass down in there. So this de-thatch process that I'm going to start with will basically pull out some of that dead thatch. Then I'll take the lawnmower and with a vacuum attachment and scoop that up, get rid of it before I then bring in the aerator, and then finally overseed, do a little fertilization, and water it in. So it's going to be an interesting day, and the reason I'm relating it to the shed build is several of you have asked what's the function of the shed, and the function of the shed is to store all these implements that you're going to see today. So today we'll see at least 3 of them, and other than the lawnmower, they will all be stored in the shed. The first one is the de-thatcher, and you can see it's a fairly simple unit. I'll take it behind the golf cart. It's got these tines that drop down, and when I release this lever, it pushes those right into the ground, and when I drag it, it'll pull that dead material, well, some living material too, I guess, up. And I've got it weighted down with a concrete block and a rock to keep it down into the ground. So we'll see how that goes, and without further ado, here we go. Okay, we're on to our third operation, and as you saw, the lawnmower picked up a lot of the debris that was left over from the de-thatching operation, and now we're on to the aerator. And this is a agrifab aerator that I got last year. By the way, the width of this aerator is what drove the width of the doorway on the shed, because this is the doorway is just wide enough to get this in for storage, and it's a fairly big one. Basically, the way this works is once I drop the bed down with this lever, these aeration tines, I guess you might call them, poke. They're very sharp, by the way. You can see they're ground off there. They poke down into the soil and pull up plugs of soil and grass, and that helps to drive the air, moisture, and I'm going to be seeding and fertilizing down into the ground, so it has a chance to be covered up and more chance for success relative to germination. It's also very healthy for the soil. So here we go with that operation, which is the aeration. Well, we're on to the next stage of the process, and this is the seeding. This is one of my favorite processes, and I always use this broadcast spreader that just goes over my shoulder. This one's an Earthway, I guess. It's I've had this for over 20 years, I think, so I've just filled it about a quarter of the way with the seed. And this seed, if you're interested, is from Banfield Baker, which is a local organization, and this is called the upside down, it's tough to read that way. It's called the Cornell Big Red Mixture, and it looks like it's about 44% perennial ryegrass, 24% tall fescue, 24% a different kind of tall fescue, and then a little bit of Kentucky bluegrass. And I've used that whole bag on other operations last year, so this is a last year seed. It's been stored properly, so it should get me through this particular seeding okay. One of the things that's bad about today is it's windy, so it's not a good day actually to seed, but it is what it is. I've got to get it done. And one of the reasons I like this hand spreader is I can keep the grass seed out of the flower beds and so forth, and out in the lawn where it's supposed to be. So here we go with this operation. The next step I'm going to do is not strictly necessary, but I like to put down a little starter fertilizer whenever I plant grass, and so that's what this is all about. The tool that I'm using is a broadcast spreader that I'll just tow behind the tractor. You're probably by now getting the idea of why I needed a shed, because this is another tool that will end up going in the shed. So here we go with the light application of a fertilizer. By the way, this fertilizer is called Milorganite. For those of you not in the States or not familiar with the product, it's basically organic nitrogen. This is the last step before watering, and once again, this is not strictly necessary, but I find it's helpful to get the seed, fertilizer, and soil all kind of loosened up. And basically what I do is I drag a log chain behind the golf cart around and around the lawn. This is a common practice on golf courses after they aerate, and it helps to get the clods of soil broken up, as well as the seed pushed down into the holes for good soil contact, which is important for germination. So once again, this is the final operation I'll show you. I'm not going to show you the watering in operation because I assume you've seen watering a lawn before. So for now, this is the Outdoor Artist, and after this operation, I'll be signing off.